Díomh agus fáilte romhaibh. My name is John Sharpson. Welcome to Science Week 2021. I am so excited to be bringing this special live show to you today. So what's coming up on today's show? Well, a little bit later on, we are going to be talking to the fastest Paralympian in the world. His name is Jason Smith. I'm going to be talking to Bláithín from the Junior Einsteins, and she's going to be showing me some experiments, all to do with the eye and cartoons. Also, a little bit later on, we'll be getting some advice from the good people at Castlecomer Discovery Park. Now, over the course of this whole show, we want to hear from you. So if you're on social media, you can use the hashtag #ScienceWeek, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can just leave a comment in the link below. And speaking of people getting in contact with us, we want to see your videos. We want to hear from you. We want to hear all about why you like science. And one such video came in from Alejandro. Let's see what he had to say.
I like science because science is sometimes challenging, and I like my friends to help me, and I like to help them. And you use your imagination in science, and there's things out of this world. And I hope you have a very good time in Science Week.
Alejandro, thank you so much, and we hope that you also have a very good time during Science Week. Now, we have a special hello and a shout out to 6th class in Sculwara and to 4th and 5th class in Convent Primary in Kanturk. Hello to everybody, and hello to all of you who are watching from all over Ireland. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gents, children of all ages, this year the theme for Science Week 2021 is all about creating our future. This means creating a future that's better for you, for your class, for your teachers, for your family, for everybody. So if you have any ideas about how we could create a better future for ourselves, why not get in contact? Leave a comment in the YouTube link below. So, what are we doing now? Oh, now, science is all about having fun, so I've got a question for you. You want to go to the zoo? Sure you do. Get your coat. Come on, we're going to the zoo. The reason I ask is because we sent a team down to Dublin Zoo to explore how they use science with one animal in particular. That animal is the Asian elephants. So let's see how they got on.
Hello and welcome to Dublin Zoo and Science Week 2021. My name is Kelly and I'm a teacher with the Discovery and Learning team. Now we are just about to enter our Kaziranga Forest Trail, which means that our elephants must be close by. We are so lucky. We have just found our herd of Asian elephants here at Dublin Zoo out in their habitat all together. So we have 9 elephants here at Dublin Zoo. I can spot a lot of them in the background. As elephants live in groups, it's really important that they're always communicating with each other. And there's lots of ways that they can do this. So they can use their sounds to talk to and listen to each other. Now, can you hear any sounds at the moment that the elephants are making? You might be able to hear them make some high-pitched trumpeting sounds every so often. So these are sounds that we can hear as humans, and they only travel short distances. So sometimes they use them to communicate to each other. But did you know that elephants can also make really low sounds? So low that humans can't hear them at all. It's not in our human frequency to be able to hear them. These are called infrasounds, and they can travel much longer distances in the wild than the high-pitched sounds that we hear as humans. So high-pitched sounds travel short distances, the low-pitched sounds travel long distances. So this means elephants can communicate over long distances of several kilometers in the wild, and these sounds travel through the earth. They are then picked up by the elephant's feet, and they travel all the way to the ears where they can understand that message that has been sent. The other way that they can communicate is by using their body language and their trunks. So their trunk is the part on the front of their face, and it's a combination of their nose and their upper lips. And they can reach out and use those trunks to gently pat each other or wrap around each other. That's a bit like us giving each other hugs or cuddles. So all these ways of listening to sounds or using their trunks are ways that they can listen and talk to each other. And they help to make sure everyone in the herd is okay. They can check in on each other.
Vishayshin Harbour, that was absolutely fantastic. I don't know about you, but I love the zoo and animals and elephants with their trunks. And you know, I didn't know that elephants make a lower frequency noise that can be heard from much further away. Every day's a school day during Science Week, am I right? Now we're going over to the good school, St. Coman's Wood Primary School in Roscommon, and the gang down there are going to share their thoughts about science. Take it away, guys.
I love science, and so should you. You know why? Because it's amazing.
It's Brálam Olio. Caharitha is Brálam Seachtain an Olio. The Olio thing not ach, so Walia, the squares, the shuppa, a moher, gachach. Fake heart earth, agus feki through Olio de gober.
Science is really important, and we need it to save our planet. We need new ways to deal with the problem of food waste and pollution and the food shortages. Finally, it is a really cool way to learn new stuff and it's great fun. Bye!
Slán!
Goodbye!
Slangafo, guys, gur mila mahagwif. Thank you so much for sending in those videos. Okay, I'm really excited about this part of the show because I'm here with my friend Blaheen from the Junior Einsteins, and we're going to do some experiments today, aren't we, Blaheen?
We are. So, John, happy Science Week.
Happy Science Week to you. How's your day been so far?
It's been great. I'm really enjoying Science Week so far.
Great,
It's
me
a great
too.
start. So, John, we're going to talk a little bit about cartoons today.
Yes.
So, what's your favourite cartoon?
There are so many. I love X-Men. I love SpongeBob. I'm a huge cartoon fan. What's yours?
Oh, there's so many classics out there. You know, Mr. Bean,
Yeah.
Simpsons, Tom and Jerry.
Classic.
Exactly. So, John, do you know how cartoons are made?
I have a fair idea. It's a lot of pictures, and each one of those pictures has to be drawn. That's about the height of my knowledge.
Exactly. So all of those pictures are shown in a really quick succession. And these, because of this, we see them as motion rather than each individual image.
Oh, okay. So your brain is taking a picture of each image,
Exactly.
and it's making them move?
Yes, so this is called the persistence of vision.
Ooh, the persistence of vision. Very nice.
Exactly, so the persistence of vision just takes the image you're looking at and holds it in your brain for a couple seconds. Then it puts it on top of the image you're seeing at the moment.
Okay.
And that's how you see motion.
Right, so your brain is taking a picture and another picture and another picture, and because it's being stored in your brain, it's creating motion?
Exactly, so it creates the illusion of motion.
Okay.
So it looks like the cartoon character is like moving its arms like this, rather than just lots of little images.
Okay.
So John, do you believe me if I said we are going to use one piece of equipment to make our very own cartoon right here, right now?
Well, now, we do have pens, we've paper, we've cameras, but also I don't know how we're going to make a cartoon, so I'm just going to have to take your word for it here.
Okay, we are going to use this really special piece of equipment called a zoetrope.
A zoetrope.
So this is our zoetrope right here.
Okay.
So these date back as far as 180 AD back in China.
Whoa. Okay, so they've been around for a pretty long time.
Much longer than cartoons.
Right.
So if you look through the slits and give it a spin and see what happens.
Okay, so I'm looking through the slits
Get
here.
through the slits and give it a
Okay.
good spin.
Oh, wow.
So you can see the horse running.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is the camera sees the horse running in one direction. So at the moment, it can see the horse running backwards, but we actually see it running forwards because we're on the other side of it.
So based on where the camera angle is, the camera's over here looking down at it, it's seeing it a different way.
Exactly, because
So
we're on
what
the other side of the table.
Wow, and it's incredible. It really looks like the horse is galloping with the jockey on top.
Exactly, when it goes backwards, kind of looks like it's doing in the moonwalk.
Yeah, it's doing a little moonwalk here.
He's a better dancer than I am, John.
That's amazing, Blaheen.
Exactly. So, do you want to hear some fun facts about cartoons, John?
I'd love to.
So, why do you think most cartoon characters only have 4 fingers instead of 5?
4 fingers, yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? They only have 4 fingers.
Simpsons have 4 fingers.
Is it anything to do with how difficult it is to draw?
Exactly. It is much easier to draw 4 fingers than it is 5 fingers.
Right.
And that started all the way back with Walt Disney.
Okay.
And speaking of Walt Disney, the creator of Mickey Mouse, why do you think Mickey Mouse is wearing white gloves?
I have maybe he was cold.
Not exactly. So when Mickey Mouse was first animated, this was way back when things were only in black and white.
Yes.
So they thought it must be much easier to see his hands against his body if he had white gloves,
Okay.
because otherwise they just blend in.
Because as a presumably all cartoons were black and white back then.
Exactly.
So because he was a black character, he had his hands and you couldn't see them.
Exactly. So that's why they put the white gloves on him.
To distinguish. Ah, I see. Makes sense when you think about it.
Exactly. So when they're animating Disney movies, how many images per second do you think they have to draw?
Per second.
Per second.
Okay, so I'm Elsa going, let it go. So that's about a second.
Yeah.
4 or 5 pictures, I don't know.
Way more. So you have to animate 24 pictures per second.
24 pictures per second.
So that's 24 pictures per second,
Wow.
60 seconds in a minute,
Yeah.
60 minutes in an hour.
Oh, you're going to ask me a really
And
hard
there's
maths question. here.
generally
Here you go.
about 90 minutes in a movie. So how many images in that entire movie do you think someone has to draw?
Hang on now till I get a pen and paper or a calculator. Do you know the answer?
I know the answer.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Okay.
Just under 130,000 images drawn through the whole movie.
So a 90-minute Disney movie takes 130,000 individual pictures to make that movie.
Exactly.
Wow. Is that not very tiring for the animator?
It must be, but maybe they have just really strong hands. So, John, do you know what part of the eye we use to see? So how do we see all these cartoons?
This part.
Not quite. It's actually at the back of your eye. It's called the retina.
Ah, okay.
The retina is a layer of cells at the very back of your eye, which collects all these images and brings it to the brain.
Right. So when you're looking at something, it's actually the back of your eye that is seeing them and bringing them to your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible. I didn't know that.
So, but the thing about this, though, your retina and your brain can be tricked.
Okay.
And this is called an illusion. An illusion is where your brain comes up with something that doesn't actually exist in reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have an illusion here today with me.
So it's as if your brain, your eyes are playing tricks with your mind.
Exactly.
Okay.
So here's my first illusion. What do you see?
I see a beautiful black vase.
Yeah, well, what if you look in the white spaces? What can you see?
Ah, it's 2 people looking at each other.
Exactly, just how we're looking at each other right now.
Exactly.
So that's it. Your brain is kind of finishing the images for you, even though that doesn't really exist.
And so some people can look at this and say, oh yeah, I see a black vase, and some people can say, okay, I see the white silhouette of 2 people looking at each
Exactly.
other. Wow.
So this is my favorite one, kind of relevant to the Asian elephants we were talking about already.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, how many legs does the elephant have?
Okay, let's count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm very confused here because I'm seeing like 5, 6 legs, but then when I look at one that I already counted, it disappears from top to bottom. What is happening?
So again, your brain is just coming up with something that doesn't exist in reality. It sees this image and it gets really confused, so it tries to finish it for you.
Right.
And that's why you can see a different amount of legs. Some people see 7 legs, some people only see 4. People say different things.
And blind, is that because your eye is looking at something and your brain is trying to make sense of it?
Exactly, your brain's trying to make sense.
Wow, that's deadly.
Yeah. So,
I love these. I love illusions. I could sit here all day and look at these now.
me too. So, see these lines here?
Yes.
Are they parallel, so they're all straight? Or are they a little bit wonky, a bit crooked?
I'm looking at them and they look like some of them are dipping in, some of them are dipping out, but they're definitely not parallel, I would say.
Okay, well, I'm a scientist and I like to prove my hypotheses.
Of course.
So, we have this straw, which is straight,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to put it parallel to the bottom of the page. And can you see, is that straight or is it crooked?
It's straight.
And I'll maybe move to this one here. Is it straight or is it crooked?
Straight.
Maybe this one here, what do you think?
Straight. What is going on? They look. Is that because there's spirals on that straw?
No, it's actually because all these squares are a little bit off to each other. If you look, they kind of go in like a sort of a wavy shape.
Yeah.
And because all these squares are in a wavy shape, your brain will like, well, the lines have to be wavy too, but that's not true.
See.
If you sat down with the ruler and tried every single one of those lines, you'll find they're actually all parallel.
So those lines are straight, parallel, not dipping in or out like that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of these little black squares being a little bit jagged and a little bit askew,
Yeah.
they look crooked.
Yeah. So we're tricking the brains here.
We are
today.
tricking our brains live.
Exactly. So this one is a bit more of a trick for your eyes.
Right.
Now this is something you use a talent, something very similar to the persistence of vision.
Okay.
It's called after image. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this little black dot here in the middle.
Can I just say, this looks like an American flag you printed out
does.
when there's not enough ink in the printer.
kind of like that.
And it starts going funny.
But these colours are very specifically chosen.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to stare at this dot right here for 30 seconds. And when we're finished staring at the dot, you look at a blank space. So maybe a wall, a ceiling, maybe your copybook.
Does it have to be a white blank space or just a blank space?
White blank spaces work
Okay,
better.
great, okay.
So, and relax your eyes, and then we'll see what happens. Okay,
Right.
so we'll stare at the dot right here. for
Staring
30
at
seconds.
this dot for 30 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you've just joined us, this is science. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Well done, everyone. Okay,
Look, your blank space and relax your eyes. Now, what do you see?
an American flag.
And
I
it's in
just
the
looked
right
at this
colours.
spot over here. And the right colours.
Exactly. So again, this is after image, and after image we've all seen before. Have you ever looked at a light maybe by accident, because that's really bad for your eyes?
Yeah.
And when you blinked, you're still able to see the light.
Yes, so if you're looking at a cloud and by accident, because you shouldn't do it on purpose, but you look at the sun,
Yeah.
when you close your eyes, you can see that orange circle or...
Exactly. So that's the after image. So your brain is holding that in your eye for just a second, so you can still see it with your eyes closed. So that's,
But that's incredible because this is blue, yellow and black. But when I looked at the wall, I was able to see the red, white and blue American flag.
that's because those colours are contrasting colours.
Right.
So blue and red are at different ends of the spectrum, as is yellow and blue and white and black. So they're
Mm-hmm. Okay.
all opposites, and that's why your brain makes them the right colours after.
So Blind, I've got a question for you now, right?
Yeah.
If you had just come to a new city, you have a map in front of you and you just decide, I'm going to use after image in my brain, right? I'm going to stare at this map so that anytime I get lost, I can just close my eyes or look at a blank space to know exactly where I'm going. Would that work?
Not really, because after image only works for maybe a second or two after you've stared at the image.
Okay, so you're going to still have to use maps to get around
You
the
will
place.
still have to use
Right,
maps.
okay. It's still very interesting though.
It is. So, John, we're going to make our very own illusion in here today.
Brilliant.
We are going to make something called a thaumatrope.
A
Okay?
thaumatrope.
And anyone at home can make this too. So all you need is 2 pieces of paper and a straw or maybe a pencil or something like that.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put this fish into this bowl. And we're not going to cut it out. We're not going to draw the fish into the bowl. We're going to keep them as is.
Are we going to put one in front of the other and hold it up to the light so it looks like the fish is in the bowl?
Not quite.
Right.
So, John, if you want to colour those in for me now, I have a
great.
few markers for you.
I'm going to make him a little goldfish, I think.
Exactly. So what you do is you colour in. Don't use dark colours. The lighter colours kind of work a little bit better.
Right.
And you don't need the printout. You can draw a fish and a bowl on pieces of paper like this and stick it onto either side of a straw. So the straw's in the middle, like kind of like a sandwich.
Will I colour in the water here?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, why not?
So as John's colouring out, let's do a quick demonstration. So he said, here's the bowl, here's the fish, and this is how we're going to put it in. So you put your hands together like this, and you start spinning quickly. And as you can see, the goldfish is going into the bowl. And this is because of your after image and your persistence of vision. They're holding the images in your brain for just a few seconds, so it looks like the fish and the bowl are in the same image, so that's why the fish looks like it's in the bowl when you start spinning it around.
Now, Blahin, I'm not looking at that because I want to see with this one that we're colouring in right here, right? Now, normally, boys and girls, ladies and gents, I would take a little bit more time with my art and make it nice and do a little bit of shading and stuff like that, but we're in a bit of a hurry today, so we're just going to leave it, we'll leave it as is. Don't judge.
So again, we're going to grab our glue and put some glue on each side of the page,
Cool.
just on the backs.
And the people watching in their classes can do this later on, maybe,
Yes,
as
they
well.
can.
Brilliant.
Make your very own illusions, your own thaumatropes.
Cool.
And you just put the straw in the middle. Now, your very own thaumatrope.
Okay, so again, I wasn't really looking when you did this, but what you did was you took the fish and the bowl and you just kind of went like
Yep.
this. Is that correct?
Yeah, so start spinning.
Whoa! It's appearing in the bowl.
I know. Again, that's because of your after image. So you're holding it into your brain for just a few seconds, so it looks like they're together.
So my brain is taking a quick snapshot of the bowl, and then when I turn it around, I can see the fish. It's obviously the opposite way around for you. So when it sees both of them together, it looks like the fish is in the bowl.
Exactly.
Or just on the outskirts of the bowl in my case, but that's my own
It's
doing.
okay.
Great stuff.
Yeah, so we can use After Image to use one of these. These are called a flip book, or some people call them kinographs.
Kinographs.
A kinograph. So I chose this one because it's the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly, and I thought it was very apt for Science Week.
Absolutely.
So the very first image here is of a caterpillar, and if I flick through this really fast, you'll start to see the caterpillar into its cocoon and then burst out as a butterfly.
Wow. Can we see that again?
Yeah, do you want to do it?
Yeah, sure. Here we go, and that is incredible. It starts off as a little caterpillar. He gets into his chrysalis, is that what it's called?
Yep, into the cocoon.
It's into his cocoon, and then he comes out as a butterfly. Incredible.
Exactly. And I have one last one. So this is probably the slowest you'll ever see a hummingbird.
Okay.
So we have our little hummingbird in slow-mo. And as I start to flick, you can see he's flapping his wings and taking a drink of nectar.
Ah, that is cool. He's just moving his wings forward and back.
Exactly.
Brilliant. I love hummingbirds. They're tiny. They're only the size of a bumblebee, aren't
Exactly.
they?
They're so small and they move really, really fast.
Yeah, they're cool. Brian, thank you so much for coming in. All that stuff was absolutely incredible. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I've learned an awful lot. So, Mila Mahagut, that was absolutely fantastic. Now, we are going to get some advice from the good people in Castlecomer Discovery Park.
Hi, my name's Amy. I'm an instructor here at Castlecomer Discovery Park in County Kilkenny. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the park and what we're doing for Science Week. Here at the park we offer a range of activities from outdoor adventure to education, which includes science and maths. Castlecomer Discovery Park is working towards our Green Park flag. This is an internationally recognised award which shows that we maintain a high standard when looking after a public space or a green space. We're going to be looking at two things, waste management and biodiversity, which includes soil and invertebrates or mini beasts. Stay tuned to the end for when we look at how to create your own bug hunt, which is something fun you can do at home.
Hi, my name is Stephen and I'm an instructor here at Castlecomer Discovery Park, and I'm going to show you guys some of the things I've learned about general waste. So in Ireland alone, we produce more than 13 million tonnes of waste each year. And to put that into perspective, that's about 210 million humans. So around our park, we do find a lot of waste. Now we recycle as much as possible, but what happens when some of the plastics and some of the rubbish is left in the ditches and we can't see them? So let's start with plastics. Now some plastic water bottles, such as this, can be left on the ground for up to 450 years until it decomposes. Now it may not fully decompose as it could break down into little microplastics which can be washed into our shores and oceans where the fish think it's food, and it can be very, very harmful. So it's important that we find these as quick as possible and we throw it into recycling to get it done safely and quickly. So around our park we find lots of coffee cups. Now some are biodegradable and some are compostable. But what's the difference? Well, compostable means that it will decompose quite quickly, sometimes between 1 to 10 years. But biodegradable means that it may not decompose for a longer time, and when it does decompose, it won't have all the nutrients as compostable cups will. So it's important that the biodegradable cups are thrown into recycling and the compost cups are thrown into compost.
Hi, my name is Conal. I'm an instructor here at Castlecomer Discovery Park. I'm here to talk to you a small bit about microbiology. Microbiology is the study of tiny living things. In 1 teaspoon of soil, there's between 100 million and 1 billion bacteria. They're essential for life, not just in the woods here, but everywhere. They play an essential role in breaking down of waste into soil and provide nutrients for not other just bacteria, but for insects, plants, animals, and us. They also help determine what kind of plants grow in the soil by releasing different kind of chemicals into the soil that can change its pH. They also can help protect the soil, make sure it's nice and healthy by breaking down harmful pollutants like pesticides, which can otherwise cause harm to plants and the soil itself. The microbes help protect the plant and also give it nutrients that it needs to grow. Microbes are essential for life, not only in this forest, but on the planet.
As Conal was saying, we have lots of microbes in the soil. They also help the invertebrates or mini beasts. This includes insects like bees, ants and beetles, as well as other mini beasts like earthworms and snails. You can join in with the Science Week activities at home, in school, or even in your local park. You can download our free bug hunt activity. Why not think about where each one likes to live and how it might help the environment? Some like to live under rocks, some like to live in the air, and some like to live in the trees. This activity sheet has different species of mini beasts and where you can record each of the different types with a tally or in numbers. Let us know how many you find in your area. We can reduce our waste problem by making small changes in our daily lives. For example, we can use reusable water bottles instead of disposable ones when we're going for a walk. There are so many benefits to using reusable water bottles. You can take them with you anywhere. There's a one-time investment, so you don't have to keep paying for water bottles. One easy way to make small change is to make a commitment to it. Why not take a picture with your water bottle and post it on social media? Then you will be more likely to keep up the habit.
Well, gur míle maith with everybody in Castlecomer Discovery Park, and you can be guaranteed that next time I'm out for a walk, I'm going to be bringing my Creating Our Future reusable water bottle merch. Now, we have another video from you guys explaining to us why you love science. Check it out.
Hi, my name's Emma, and for Science Week I'm so excited. Mainly just because you can learn so much in science. You can learn about, well, yourself. You can learn about climate, which is really relevant. You can learn about weather. You can learn about space. You can learn about anything. And I really hope you enjoy it too. My favourite thing to do is experimenting because there's so many different experiments you can do. I'm reading a book that has 500 facts in it about science. I read one every day. And this is just the one I'm on right now. It's so interesting what you can learn about science. Bye! Bye!
Bye. Thank you so much, Emma and Sarah. It's great to hear from you guys talking about science and all things Science Week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the moment is upon us. It is time that I had a chat with Paralympian Jason Smith. Now, in order not to do him a disservice, let me just tell you a little bit about what Jason has done. Jason has won medals in the last 4 Paralympics in Beijing, London, Rio and Tokyo. So we are extremely lucky to be talking to Jason this morning. Jason, how are you? Can you hear me?
I certainly can. I'm very well. How are you?
Good, good, good. How's your Monday morning going?
It's going good. It's great to be here, and be part of Science Week with everyone watching. So train a little bit later, but it's good to be with you and part of the week.
Great stuff, Jason. Now, for those people that might not know, what exactly is a Paralympian and what are the Paralympics?
Yeah, so the Paralympics is somewhat like the Olympics. Only to compete in the Paralympics, you have to have a disability, and it's often physical disabilities. For me, I'm visually impaired, so I roughly have about 5 to 10% vision. But there's other categories that aren't just visually impaired or blind. There is leg and arm amputees, so legs or arms, missing one arm or 2 arms. You have athletes in wheelchairs, and then you also have cerebral palsy, which is often athletes that are affected muscular on one side of the body, or can be double sided. So within that, you compete against people with a similar disability to yourself.
Right, okay. And as a Paralympian, how does it feel being the fastest Paralympian in the world?
It's obviously a very nice title to have, and it's a reflection of a lot of hard work and a lot of preparation that goes into trying to win gold medals. For me, I tend not to look at it too much because it's a statement of what's already happened, what I've done in the past, the medals I've won, and for me that's gone, it's done. You can't influence it or impact it. And for me, I tend to try to keep looking forward and how can I continue to run fast.
I see. And Jason, just
to
on
win
that,
gold medals.
Just on that, Jason, you mentioned there that it's very important not to look at the past, and you know you've got all these fantastic accomplishments. Can you also apply that when something doesn't go well for you, that you can say, okay, look, I can't change the past, it didn't work out, time to move forward? How important is that?
I think it's extremely important, and there's a lot of merit in looking in the past, because the past is also how you learn and therefore how you make changes going forward. So it's important to look in the past to learn and make improvements, but for me it's not important to dwell in the success of the past, because that has no impact on the success in the future. So I think the learning for me is the key.
Absolutely, what a great mind frame to be in, that you just say, look, the past is the past, I can't control it, you need to look forward, for better or worse. You know, you've good times in the past and sometimes things don't work out, but it's important to move forward. Jason, we have a question here from 5th class in Scull, Oliver Nafa, and the question is, how important is science in your success?
Hi, Jason. My name is Lily.
Sorry about that, Jason. That's another question that we have coming in, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But in the meantime, how important is science in your success?
I would say science has a huge part to play. You know, often what people see, let's say in my race, is a 10-second race. But the reality is there's thousands of hours that go in to making that 10-second race and running well. And it's in that thousands of hours and the preparation where science plays a huge part, and that can be from very simple things to how I train. As a sprinter, we don't run miles. We run everything short. This is 300 meters. The shortest might be 10 meters. So it's very specific to what your body needs to allow you to run fast. It impacts how you look at recovery, how you fuel your body with the nutrients it needs to be able to do the exercises it needs and to remain injury-free and healthy. So science and understanding of science is key to be able to be successful.
Excellent, and you're so right. Like there's such a science to the type of training based on the athlete you are. Like you said, you sprint, so there's no point in you training and running marathons, because that's not going to make you fast over short bursts. Now, we had a video question coming in there, which we got a brief glimpse of, but let's go back to that video question now, please.
Hi, Jason. My name is Lily, and I am 9 years old. How many medals do you have, and how heavy are they?
That question again, Jason, was how many
I
medals do you have
have,
and how heavy are they?
oh, I have 21 gold medals in total. 6 of them at the Paralympic Games, but how heavy are they? What size are they? They're probably about the size of my palm. So they're pretty big.
Yeah,
And
you
they
wouldn't
are
want to be
pretty
wearing too
heavy as
many of them
well.
around the house. They're very heavy.
Yeah.
That was a question from Lily from Cool National School. She sent that video in. And we actually have another video question from Chloe in St. Coman's Wood Primary School in Roscommon. Take it away, Chloe.
Hi Jason, I'm Chloe. I think you are amazing and such a great role model for achieving your dreams. I have a question. Who inspired and encouraged you to become such an amazing athlete? Bye!
Great question. I think a few different people. I would say my parents had a huge role in my success and how they helped me along that. I also got involved in athletics because of a school teacher. So a school teacher encouraged me to go, and from there I went. So she had a huge impact on me getting involved in the sport. And also I would say my coach, he changed my mindset and changed the way I think on believing in what I could achieve. So for me, they've probably been the 3 most influential people.
Excellent stuff. And might I just say, you know, teachers, they really are fantastic, aren't they? They're just brilliant. Okay, Jason, we have another question here from Liam Barry. He wants to know, who would win in a race between you and Sonic the Hedgehog?
I don't know. I think we maybe need to arrange that race.
That's a tricky one, yeah. Now, Sonic would have all sorts of advantages, like he gets faster when he grabs those gold rings and stuff like that. That's an advantage that you wouldn't have. But, you know, I still think it'd be a close race.
I think Sonic might just age it.
I think you're just being humble there. Now, we've one final question from me, actually. This week's theme, or this year's theme for Science Week, Jason, is creating our future. So in light of that, what would you like to see science exploring to make a better future?
I think I give 2 answers, and one probably more of a society and where society needs to think and go. And for me, that would be, which is a very hot topic at the minute, is the climate and the environment, actually, really. How do we make the environment sustainable for the future? And I think that's a very important thing to be considered and look at now, because we don't have time. And it's kind of a bit like what I was saying around sport. It's about learning from the past and now making the changes that are required to have sustainability going forward. I'd say from probably a bit more of a selfish personal note, one thing I would be very excited about is developments in science around diseases and being able to cure diseases. Obviously, I have an eye condition that I have less than 10% vision, and I know there's developments in gene therapy. So I would be incredibly excited about the possibility of being able to see more at some point in the future.
Excellent. Well, Jason, I've had a great time talking to you. You've given everybody who's watching some food for thought, and thank you so much. And listen, we're really sorry, guys. There are a lot of questions coming in for you, Jason, but we just don't have time. So we're going to have to say goodbye, and thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, and have a good week.
See you, Jason. Have a great week. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gents, children of all ages, I've got bad news. It is almost time to say goodbye, but not quite yet, because we have a lot of shout-outs to give. Okay, we have a lot of questions that came in. We also have so many hellos, so here's some shout-outs, and we couldn't get through them all. We just don't have time, but it's great that all of you are getting involved and leaving comments for shout-outs. So here are a few hellos to 4th class in Grange National School in Tipperary, 3rd class in Holy Cross Mercy, D. Eve, Cunastashiv, how are you guys? In Killarney agus Díomh ó Rangashay is Scoil Ursa I Chundae na Gaillimhe, okay? Scoil Ursa Rangashay I Chundae na Gaillimhe. So we hope that all of you who wrote your comments and all of those shout-outs, we hope you have a wonderful Science Week and that you enjoy the many events we have online. Guys, online there are so many events that you can join in with at www.scienceweek.ie. We have rocket making, there are meditation classes, there are virtual tours of Fota Island Wildlife Park, and we also have a science quiz with my good friend Phil Smith. Now, I can't wait to watch a load of those things, but again, you can find all of them on scienceweek.ie. So a huge thanks finally to you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We really hope that you enjoyed the show. I've had a wonderful time. Blaheen had a wonderful time as well. And from everyone here, we just want to say we hope you're inspired and have an absolutely fantastic Science Week. Slán go fóg ach aine. We'll see you real soon. Bye!